What's up guys, Treeburgers here, bringing you a guide today on how to play the Assassin class, Royale. We will be going over some of the spells and stuff and the class weapon, so I hope you enjoy this, and without further ado, let's get right into it. Okay, so the first spell that we are going to look at today is the basic spell of the Assassin class. The spell is Blink, which teleports you forward a short distance. It has 4 different cooldowns depending on the rarity of the spell. 16, 12, 8 or 4 seconds cooldown. I use the spell to get like in and out of buildings, to reposition myself in fights. If you know that there's an enemy like upstairs in a house and you just want to go head first into him, if you can get like a good position on him and combine it with some other spells, you can point it at a window and use it to move in and out of a building. A feature that's really nice and works really well in a lot of places. So yeah, that's basically what this spell does. If you know how to play with this spell, you can really master some awesome outplays and really reposition yourself well when fighting against the enemy. Let's say you are low and you want to disengage. You can quickly move into a building and seek shelter, or you can get out of a building if you're fighting inside. Like get yourself to cover that way, heal up before you want to re-engage, and then combine it with a spell like Sensor Drone. If you just moved out of the building, throw the Sensor Drone onto the building and see where your enemy is at now that you've repositioned yourself, and then find out how you're gonna re-engage into the fight. And next up we have the Concussion Bomb. Basically, the Concussion Bomb works like in an impulse grenade from Fortnite. If any of you guys played Fortnite, I believe a lot of you have tried Fortnite before. But what this does is it knocks you away from the grenade. So if, say, the grenade explodes right under you, you will be knocked straight up into the air. The grenade also damages your opponents, and the damage depends on the rarity again. It goes from 150 up to a total of 600 damage and has a cooldown from 14 down to 8 seconds. The Concussion Bomb is not really my favorite pick for an assassin item. I guess the damage is okay, but I just find the other abilities a lot more favorable, really. The Sensor Drone is really strong because right now a lot of people camp in the game, so you will find a lot of people just hiding inside buildings, and the Sensor Drone really helps out good here. And personally, I like using the Ghost Walk together with the Sensor Drone, so you can just infiltrate a house while being invulnerable to any damage at all, and we will get back to the Ghost Walk later on in the video. The Concussion Bomb, it's really funny, and like the Blink, it's quite good for repositioning. So if you get it early game and you might not have the best weapons and you need the positioning to your advantage rather than wrecking your enemy because you have the better weapons, then the Concussion Bomb is a really good choice. But other than that, I would not go with it. But that's just my personal opinion. I haven't really checked up on stats as far as if the damage is overpowered or the cooldown compared to the damage, so the total DPS is overpowered. I'm not too sure, and you will have to look further into that because there's a few guides out right now, but not too many. So this pretty much sums up the Concussion Bomb. Like I said, I'm not using it too much, so I will leave it up to you to try it out if you want to. Okay, so for the next spell we will be looking at Ghost Walk. Ghost Walk makes you untargetable and it makes you move faster. Depending on the rarity, it gets a shorter cooldown, a longer duration, and a bigger speed boost. You have seen me use it in a couple of the clips that you've just watched. You get this like kind of purple aura around you, and you can walk pretty much wherever you want, and you won't take damage as long as you are in this state. Again, if you jump into a building and you just want to go like head on to a person because you know you can take him if it's just like one shot from dying, and you just want to rush him, you can go in with a Ghost Walk and get a good position on him, get your scope ready and everything, and just blast his head off as soon as your Ghost Walk ends. It can get you out of some dangerous situations if you're nearly dying and you need to escape and stuff, and if you read position, if say an enemy uses a spell and you need to counter that with your own spells, you can use Ghost Walk to, say an engineer throws a firebomb at you. That hurts if you can't get out of it easily, so using Ghost Walk to counter that, just as an example, it can really counter anything. So I really like to play with Ghost Walk as well. Probably my second favorite pick from Sensor Drone. An overall great spell which has a lot of uses and stuff, and just pretty much goes well with all setup. But that pretty much covers it. There's nothing much to say. As you might already noted in this next clip, I have a rare ability in my ability tab, and that is the next ability that we are gonna look at. It's my personal favorite, the sensor drone. And basically what the sensor drone is, it deploys a drone that reveals enemies for 5 seconds, or up to 5 seconds. The duration depends on the rarity of the item. The cooldown on the item goes from 20 to 8 seconds depending on the rarity, and the duration goes from 2 to 5 seconds. What you can do with the sensor drone is you can throw it at any building, any ground, tree, whatever, and it scans the perimeter around that area. If there's an enemy nearby, they will be marked with a red outlining around them, and you will know exactly where they are. This is a really strong item for rushing houses if a person is camping, and if you need to, say you are on the outskirts of the zone and you need to get in the zone, then you can throw this at buildings while approaching the new zone to see if there's any enemies nearby camping that you need to take out while moving inside the zone. It's good for repositioning against your enemies if you can tell exactly where they are at any time. So overall, I really like this sensor drone, and as you can see from some of my clips, the item is really strong because the first guy that I kill, I always know where he is exactly, so I can just peek around the corner and shoot him right in the head, and that takes him out super fast. And this really sums up why I love this spell so much. It's quite strong in my opinion, but nothing too overpowered, because I know the hunter has an ability that's somewhat alike, so you do have advantages depending on what class you are playing. The final spell that we will be looking at today is the smoke screen. The smoke screen throws a smoke screen that blocks vision and grants you brief invisibility. It has a cooldown of 12 to 9 seconds and a duration from 5 to 8 seconds depending on the rarity. What's important to note here is it does not make you invulnerable or anything like that, or untargetable. It's simply invisibility. So if you meet an engineer and he uses his plasma gun, which is his class weapon, you will not be untargetable from the AoE explosion that the weapon makes, so he can pretty easily take you out if you stand in the middle of a smoke screen. But the spell is really good for positioning in fights again, like if you are getting hammered by an enemy and you need to reposition on him, you can hide in your smoke screen and maybe get a free hit off on him because he cannot see you, and you can stand in it and like blink away, maybe concussion bomb away. There's a ton of options, and I haven't found out more than a couple percentages of all these options so far because I haven't played the game enough yet. But the smoke screen works really well in a lot of situations. True assassin like skill, which is very neat, and I have been able to make a few plays with it, and it's tons of fun really. So a really good spell overall. Having rounded off all these different abilities, it's time to take a look at the assassin class weapon, which is a huge sniper with a ton of damage. Before we get too much into the sniper, let's just see a couple of clips of what this gun can do in action. The hill and see who's coming running up, so you can just peek and take him down really easily. If you do spot a player here, take him down. So basically what this gun does is it kills people really fast and really effectively. The basic hit of the gun hits for 1200 HP, so that's full HP with no armor, or that's full armor if you have all legendary armor. If you land a headshot like I did in the clip, it hits for 2400 HP, which is just a full one shot no matter how much health, armor and stuff, whatever you might have. It always one shots. So that's a really strong advantage if you get a pick like we just did in the clip that you saw. A disadvantage of the gun is the really slow scoping time. It takes more than a second from your right click till the scope actually zooms in and you can fire your weapon. So that's always something you have to take into consideration when taking a shot and in a fight. Like, do you have the time to wait for the scope? Do you just 360 no scope it like a pro? Or do you simply go with another weapon? But as an engagement, the weapon is just really awesome and really sick, and I really enjoy playing with it. You can make some great YouTube content with some epic long snipes. There's absolutely no bullet drop on these shots, so shoot where the guy is, where you predict him to go, but do not like take into consideration if the bullet will drop or anything, because there is 0 bullet drop on the weapon. Like any other class weapon, the weapon costs 120 shards and 1 piece of meat, which you just get from a kill, so that's pretty much it. Just find someone, murder him, grab his chicken legs once you've chickened him, and then you are ready to go and build your legendary weapon. So this pretty much rounds up the assassin class, what kind of abilities the assassin uses, and its class weapon. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to throw a like at my direction. This channel is totally new, so I really would appreciate your support if you like the work that I put into this. Have an awesome day, have an awesome night, enjoy your Royale, and see you another time. Bye.